It's probably not what you think you need when you look for financial advice, but some financial advisors are turning to therapists to help them and their clients with some of the more emotional sides of money.
Lexington Wealth Management is a boutique firm which now has a therapist on retainer, a therapist who was once a client herself.
The firm hired Shifra Burke. They call her a wealth counselor. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist. The firm's president has her work with both clients and employees dealing with clients.
She'll work with, we've got 4 or 5 people that meet with clients in the firm primarily, and she's worked with us in terms of helping us work through different issues, listening better, which is a problem that many people in finance have. We're very anxious to show what we know and go on, and we'll be better off if we were just to listen to our clients a little bit more.
Shifra Burke joins us now here on the set. Thanks for coming down and being a part of our show today. If it's not at all obvious to somebody just from the outset why therapy and financial advice somehow have an overlapping area, how would you explain it?
Well, I would say that counselors talk about all these life issues like divorce, retirement, etc. from a feelings perspective, and the wealth management people talk about these same issues from a pure numbers perspective, and the reality is I think they're just subjective and objective sides of the same discipline. So bringing them together is really sensible.
Right. And do you find that most people are emotional when it comes to in terms of money in their life, whether it's money for investment or money that they don't have enough of or whatever? I mean, there's a lot of emotion tied into a lot of these things, right?
Huge money tied into, money tends to be a lightning rod for all sorts of emotional issues, yes. So I don't know if you're asking for an example, but you know, when we think about everything from risk to whether we go on vacation or do we buy the new refrigerator, it just comes up all the time.
So what would you say is the most common difference when you see couples talking about money?
The most common difference? Well, spending and saving is probably the most common difference. Do we have the, we don't know what's going to happen next, so let's spend, or do we have, we don't know what's going to happen in our future, so let's save? That often is a big trouble spot for people.
Okay, so let's go over some of the scenarios. Say there's an entrepreneur who suddenly wants to sell off the business that he or she built from scratch, or even a professional who wants to retire. I mean, I would guess that these are really big identity issues. When they're talking about planning their financial future, a lot of those personal issues are going to come up.
Right, and they do a great job of planning their financial future in general, and they do a very poor job in general of planning everything but their financial future. So all of what we might call life planning. And the business is often their baby. These are their children, so not only are they leaving their children behind, but they're also leaving structure and prestige and status and camaraderie.
Right. And sometimes people would tend to get paralyzed a bit if it's a estate planning situation or if there's a second spouse involved all of a sudden later in life and you've got these financial issues to deal with. Can you counsel people to feel more comfortable about dealing with those issues?
Sure. Counsel the people themselves, helping them understand that there are ways to have conversations about money. Those are difficult conversations often, but conversations that include, for example, protecting children, adult children, and can we set up a contract, but let's at least have this conversation open and discussable. Money tends to be a real taboo subject and people just skirt around it.
Thank you very much, Shifra Burke, for being our guest today. You can read more about her and that story of wealth counselors in the latest Business Week magazine.